Growing up in a blended immigrant family of two older brothers, my twin brother, and my parents, my dad would always say, "Dad doesn't talk about fair." And he really meant this to mean the things that we expect in life, they won't always come. And sometimes if you deserve something, you're not gonna get it. Sometimes if you don't deserve something, you might get it. Life wasn't fair, and we had to learn to let this go, especially if we wanted to be in family together. I think it was from the very get-go. As far as I can remember, there was always one toy. My parents would buy us one Lego, one book, one video game, one Lego set, and that was ours to share. I think they really wanted us to learn to prefer one another, to see when does Silas, when does Simeon, when do we want to play? And would we do it together? I think this perspective of yielding really developed that sense of trust that we were in it together. It was the relational currency for our friendship as brothers, but also our relationship as family. I remember when we were in high school and we were first starting to drive, we had to learn to share the car. Pontiac, Montana, blue. They don't make them like they used to. But it was the Sham van, and we had shared propriety. I remember we'd have separate events that we'd want to go to because we also had our own friend groups and activities that we needed to be at. And we just had to have that discussion of who's gonna take the car and how are we gonna sort this out. Whether we had to go to sports practice or band or just to see our friends separately, we knew what was important to one another. And we knew when it was time to relinquish the car and to just let the other go. I remember when we were in driving school, you learn about all of these rules of the road, and you learn about the stop sign, the red light, the yellow light, the green light, and then there's this elusive yield sign. I remember in my mind in the driving school that we attended, I always thought about the yield sign it's for the small car that's on the small road to let the big cars that are fast zoom on by. And when it's safe, you go. And I really feel like this is an example of the world today. There's all these really big, really fast cars that are just zooming on by, and the small car is just waiting to yield to not get run over. Yeah, I think the rules of the road are really wonderful for navigating public life, but I think it's a really poor roadmap for how we can live as spiritual beings, especially in the way of Jesus. Jesus is so amazing. He's Almighty God, Creator. He's the Son of God. And He gave up all of His authority, all of His privilege, all of His power to become like us in order to be with us. I see this as a reversal of the rules of the road, if you want to look at it that way, that Jesus is actually yielding to us, to let us go forward and to lift us up. As I look back at this habit of yielding and preferring one another, it's because we chose to lay down our preferences for one another. To this day, and he'll tell you the very same thing, our wives don't believe us. We've never fought. We've worked things out, but we've never had an argument in anger. When I think back at the phrase that my dad always used to say when we were younger, that dad doesn't talk about fair, and I look at the lives that especially my twin brother and I have led, we've learned that to see one another succeed, for me to see my twin brother succeed is to see the family succeed. And I don't have to be the top dog. I don't have to be the top earner or the most successful. Neither does he. We're both in this together, and we're both choosing to celebrate one another's wins so that we can be in good relationship. That habit of yielding and sacrificing what is fair, it taught me how to be a brother.